लाददायिने
प्रहलाद लाददायिने
हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः
हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः
चिलटङ्कानखालये
शिलटङ्कानखालये
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
इतो नरसिंह परितो नरसिंह
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो
आहे नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
भये नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
वकरकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गाम् ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवदीर्ता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव
जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव
जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज
जय भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
निताय गौरा हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
बोलो श्री श्री
कृष्ण
लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय श्री भक्तलाल
जय
भगवान की जय
जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
हरे
बोल
हरे
Thank you very
कृष्ण
much, Prabhuji. Very
हरि
nicely
बोल
sung. Thank you. Hari Bol, Prabhuji. Very nicely sung. Thank you. Okay, so chapter 5. We'll first sing the Mangala Charan, which is very important for all of us. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Chakshur Ulmlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Gopalananda ki Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so chapter 5. I'll just go through it. First of all, whoever didn't attend last time, we covered verse 5:16, chapter 5, verse number 16. That was 5:16 was Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham aditya vajnanam prakashanti tat param. And the translation was, when, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which his sense is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything, as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. And what is that? So, who enlightens us is our Guru. See, Krishna. Our goal of life is goal of Vrindavan. That is Krishna. That's our goal of life. We need to get to Krishna at the end of this life, or whenever we are qualified, whenever we are purified. And Krishna, the Guru Maharaj, our Guru, he gives. Krishna has left this torch for us. Bhagavad Gita is like a.
Prabhuji, we can't hear you.
We can't hear Prabhu.
I was born. Can everybody hear me?
Now we can, yeah. Earlier we were
Yeah.
lost sometime.
Can everybody hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can't hear you again. Prabhuji? Hello?
Hare Krishna. Can everybody hear me?
No, we can't hear
Prabhuji,
you.
we keep on losing you.
Can you all hear me?
Can hear you
Prabhuji, we
now.
can hear
Yes,
you
yes,
now.
Prabhuji. Yes,
Everybody who's not
we can
muted
hear
can.
you.
Now we can hear you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Mataji, Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
No?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, we can hear you, Prabhuji.
Hear you. You carry on, Prabhuji.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, right. Sorry about that. I thought I got disconnected. It came in my screen that you're disconnected or whatever, you see. So we sang the Mangalacharan. It says, Om Agyan Timirandasya. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So that's the torch he gives us, of Bhagavad Gita or spiritual knowledge to go to Krishna. Because like Srila Prabhupada, he gave the torch to his disciples and they give the hand over torch to us. See. Now, obviously, Srila Prabhupada himself is not present, but he has asked his disciple to pass on the torch to us, so we can get enlightened and go to our goal, that is Golok Vrindavan. So we'll carry on with the today's verse, that is 5:17. Shankar Prabhu not there today. He can display the. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, can everybody see the verse now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. So that's 517. So tad buddhyas, tad atmanas, tan nishthas, tad parayana, gachanti apnur avritam, jnana nirdutta kamalasha, kalmashaha, sorry, kalmashaha. And the translation is, when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Can anybody read the purport from me, please, if possible?
I can read, Prabhuji, if you want.
Okay, please. Thank you, Mataji.
The purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Supreme
Jai.
transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the version of all Vedic literature. Paratattva means the Supreme Reality, who is understood by the knowers of the Supreme as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Can you please move it up?
Yes, Mataji, sorry. Yeah.
Is the last word in the absolute. There is nothing more than that. The Lord says, Mata para taram nanya kinchit asti dhananjaya. Impersonal Brahman is also supported by Krishna. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is a supreme reality. One whose mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness, is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgivings and is in perfect knowledge in everything. Prabhuji, move up, please.
Yeah, sorry.
In everything concerning transcendence. A Krishna conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity, and individuality. In Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation. Haribol, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Okay, so it says in this verse, the verse that is from Srimad Bhagavatam, no, sorry, from Bhagavad Gita, I think 7.5. And it says, Mata parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam proktam sutre mani gana eva. I'll just try and cancel this. Stop share. Okay, yeah. So that what's the meaning of that? Mata parataram nanyat. There is no truth superior to me. Krishna says, I am the superior, supreme truth. That means I am the, as the pearls are strung on a thread, this is how everything depends upon me. Everything depends upon me as the pearls are strung on the thread. See, so everything depends on Krishna. So that is the main thing we have to understand. And once we understand that we are completely dependent on Krishna and everything happening around us is controlled by Krishna, then we are free from all the misconceptions and attachments, you see. Then we don't have, and in that state, when we consider that everything is happening because of Krishna, not because of us, we are not the doers, then we come to the purified condition. You see, then we are purified, and that's the main purpose of our reading Bhagavad Gita and of this birth as well. So we can purify ourselves. Body is temporary anyway. We're going to leave this body behind, and when we purify ourselves, then we qualify ourselves to go to the Golok Vrindavan. And that's the purpose of this Bhagavad Gita. See? So I'll just recap this chapter briefly, and then we'll get on with the verse again. Arjuna's question was, what is beneficial, renunciation of work or work with devotion? He asked in the beginning of this chapter, you see, what is the beneficial for me? See, the renunciation, because he got the in the previous chapter, that is fourth chapter, transcendental knowledge, he got the idea from Krishna that you have to be in knowledge, you have to acquire knowledge, see, of the self, and what is your duty. You see, once you have that knowledge, then you can renunciate everything. See, so he's asking, he got confused. So sometimes you are telling me you should renunciate everything, leave everything, and sometimes you're asking me to work in devotion service. Actually, tell me correctly which is the right one. This is the question everybody asked. Like other day on Sunday, Governor Prabhuji also said that we always have questions. The Bhagavad Gita is there for us to read, and Srila Prabhupada and our gurus, they have all given us the enlightenment, but still we have the questions. We need to ask questions. So Arjuna asked these questions on our behalf. And Krishna replies, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. So he asking Arjuna that you should work in devotional service. You do your duty, but as I said, as we learned in this verse, that we should consider Krishna to be behind everything. See, that's a devotional service. Persons who are free from dualities of good, bad, etc., can easily come out of material bondage and can completely get liberated. You see, when we are out of all the bondages, see, then we get liberated. You see, persons who are free from dualities. Dualities means when good things come to us, we are happy. When bad thing comes to us, like when Krishna has given example in second chapter that sometimes there's winter, sometimes the good and bad things like sorrows or happiness and sorrows are like winter and summer season. You see, as winter and summer season change, that's how the good things and bad things come in our life. But who gets over it, who understands that these things are only temporary, good things and bad things are only temporary, and they are only connected with the body, not with the self. That's the liberated state. You see, when we try to accept those things, good thing or bad things, as temporary, then we don't feel, we are always happy. See, we don't get sad, and that's the purpose of our life. Why do we need the spiritual life? Just so that we are happy. See, we are peaceful. You see, and the whole fifth chapter is based on the peace formula. You see, how we should be peaceful in our life, how we should be happy in our life. That is what we learn at the end of this chapter. You see, the peace formula. You see. But in the previous chapters also, Krishna has said, you see, Nasti, in the second chapter, I think he says 266, Nasti Buddhir Ayuktasya Nacha Ayuktasya Bhavana Nacha Bhavayata Shantir Ashantasya Kuta Sukam. That's, I think, verse 266 and chapter 266 verse, you see. And what's the translation for that? One who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without the peace? So once main thing is we should be peaceful in our life, and we'll be only peaceful when we are detached with everything, and when we think it's not us who are doing anything. You see, everything is done by Krishna. We don't owe anything, you see. We are just here to perform our duty, devotional service to Krishna, and fulfill our purpose of this body, see. And when we fulfill that, then we are satisfied, we are happy. And every father or every parent, he wants his children to be happy. That's why Krishna has given us this Bhagavad Gita. Says, follow this Bhagavad Gita, be peaceful, don't this thing, claim any proprietorship of anything, and then you'll be peaceful and happy. Once we are peaceful, then we are happy. That's the main purpose of life. One has to be peaceful. I remember when I went first time in 1985. I went to ISKCON temple just near me. They had a rented house, very just 5 minutes walking distance from my house, and they had started a temple. They had temple there, so I went there. So they gave me a form to fill. See, it was Krishna Dharma Prabhuji and Chintamani Mataji. They were in charge of the temple that time. So they gave me the form. He said, fill the form, and then the form asked what was the reason of your coming to the temple. So I wrote on the form because I was new, obviously, at that time, almost now 37, 38 years ago. You see, I didn't know why, but I wrote peaceful. I want to be peaceful. You see, I came here so that I'm searching for the peaceful life. You see, so that's the main purpose of our life, peace. You see, once we are peaceful, then we are always happy. When we know we are not, no, either profit or loss, it doesn't concern us. It's not ours. It's all been done by the Supreme. You see, whether we get good things or bad things, it's all controlled by Supreme. Then we are free from worries. We don't have to worry about anything. See, and then we are peaceful. And once we are peaceful, then we are happy. And that's the main purpose of Bhagavad Gita, of our life as well, that we should be happy. Persons who are free from dualities of good, bad, etc., can easily come out of the material bondage and can completely get liberated. And analytical studies, Krishna also describes in this one analytical studies. That's the Sankhya Yoga, by logical examples. We search for that how Krishna is in charge of everything. So this is all given in the Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna is in charge. He says, Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. I am the supreme truth. Okay, taking sannyas alone can't solve our problems. That's why Krishna is saying that if you just take sannyas, it will not solve any problem. Without any knowledge, if you just say, okay, we give up everything, run away from our duties, you see, like many people they do, see. I have learned that some of the even brahmacharis in Krishna in ISKCON, they have left everything, their parents and everything, and they have joined ISKCON. And later on, when they heard their parents are in trouble, or because they were the only probably children of the parents, you see, when they heard that their parents are in trouble, or parents died or something, then they have really felt very bad about it, you see, that we ran away from our duty, you see. But it is okay to take to become brahmachari, give up everything, but we should not run away from the duties because they are tedious or torturous, or we are responsible for, and we are running away from our responsibility. So that one is also not good. So Krishna says that renunciating is just taking sannyas for no reason alone cannot solve our problems. If we are not engaged in devotional service to the Lord, then it's waste of time. See, even if we take sannyas, we have to get engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. Then only our sannyas is profitable. See, otherwise sannyas is the waste of time as well. Devotional service can purify our mind and senses, and even though we are working materially, we don't get entangled in the material world. So devotion, these are just notes I have mentioned, written from my memory, so that I can share those with you. See, that's why I'm going through that. So devotional service can purify our mind. Once we are devoted to Krishna, we are doing devotional service. Like many of you youngsters I've seen, you are very enthusiastic. You come on Sunday. I've seen you really get involved in nice services. You're cleaning and serving, prasadam and all this, which is very nice. This is also a service a devotional service to Krishna. You're serving Krishna, see, directly or indirectly. So these devotional service can purify our mind and senses. So when we engage ourselves in devotional service, we are purifying our self, that our Atma. And once we are, Atma itself is always in a pure state, you see. But because we are engaged in because it comes into contact with the conditioned life, so it gets conditioned, you see. In the material life, it gets conditioned, you see. And that's why we need this process to purify it again, you see. And that's the main purpose of our life. Even though we are working materially, we don't get entangled in the material world. So even if we are doing our duties, but our mind is always in the devotional service, that Krishna is doing everything for us, we are just working as an instrument, then everything is solved for us. We don't get entangled. See, we are not attached to anything. See, we only get attached to things because we think we are the proprietors. This belongs to me, that belongs to me, and all the bank accounts are mine. See, house is mine, children are mine. When we think of all these things, proprietorship, then only that also that only hurts us. You see, that is why we get good things and bad thing happens, and we get really sad and happy. So when we don't claim any proprietorship, then we are free from all the entanglements. A devotee, although he is doing all sorts of activities or anything happening around him, knows he does nothing. It is all happening with the will of the Lord. That's the main purpose of our understanding. The devotee has to understand that Lord is behind everything, you see. A person who performs his duty with a detached mind, thinking the Lord is a doer of everything, is free from all sinful activities. Example, water under lotus leaf. Krishna has mentioned that, you see, and this one of the verses, you see, that as water doesn't stop on the lotus leaf, this is how having a person who performs duties with detached mind, when we are detached from our duties, from our when we are performing our duties, when we are detached to it, that we are not doing it, Krishna is behind it. We are just, as I said, as an instrument, doing as an instrument. Then that's the detached kind of state of mind. You see, thinking the Lord is doer of everything, is free from all sinful activities. Example, water of the lotus feet. And yogis detach themselves from material activities for the purpose of purification. The yogis, when they are connecting, like in previous yugas, the yogis used to perform austerities for 60,000 years, you see. They used to sometimes even stand on one leg and perform, connect to gods or demigods of their own choice, or even on Krishna as well. In Treta Yuga, many people, they saw Lord Ramchandra. Many of the rishis and munis, they saw Lord Ramchandra so handsome. They thought, wish he was our husband. We were married to him. See. So Lord, because he was in their mind, he told them, okay, I'll bestow that mercy upon you. When I become Krishna, then you become my wives. And that's how Krishna got 16,108 wives, you see, because they were all yogis. They performed austerities. They connected to Krishna, you see. So yogis detach themselves from material activities for the purpose of purification, and that's how they got purified and became Krishna's wife. And once they are associated with Krishna, then they are completely purified and they are saved from cycle of birth and death. A devotee who offers results of all his activities to Krishna is always peaceful. See, that's the peaceful formula, which, as I said, this is what we need. See, a devotee who offers all results, whatever we are doing, we think Krishna is your mercy. As most of our devotees, they mention in the temple as well, I've heard. See, they say Krishna's mercy. When how is everything, Prabhuji? Yes, Krishna's mercy. That is how one's mindset should be. See, that whatever is happening is because of Krishna's mercy. See, who is always attached to the results of his activities finds himself okay. A devotee who offers results of all his activities to Krishna is always peaceful, whereas a non-devotee who is always attached to the results of his activities finds himself in the cycle of birth and death. But if the person who is not devoted to Krishna, who is not attached to Krishna, and who thinks I am the doer of everything, I am the God, then he falls into the cycle of birth and death. You see, he comes into the cycle of birth and death. He takes birth again and again until he gets purified in one of his life, and then go back home, back to Godhead. So when the body is involved in working in the three modes of material nature, we get reactions accordingly, and thus enjoy or suffer results of our actions. And we blame God for our actions, whereas Krishna is not the one who gives us suffering. So when we are involved in the without devotional service, when we are working, as I said, claiming the proprietorship that we are the doer of everything, that means we are attached to our duties, our works, and then we come into the three modes of material nature. See, sometimes we fall into the mode of goodness, sometimes we fall into the mode of passion, and sometimes in the ignorance, anger and everything. When it comes, then we are in the mode of passion and ignorance. You see, we lose our equilibrium. See, enjoy or suffer, and that's how when we fall into the three modes of material nature, then we fall. We enjoy or suffer the results of our actions. You see. And we blame God for it. When we think, Krishna, why we are doing us all this? God, why, oh my God, why we are having these so many problems? You see, but we don't realize we are the only cause of it. See? We have created these modes of material nature for ourselves. You see, and because we are following those modes, that's why we are having problems. You see, it's not Krishna. You see, Krishna only wants us back. See, that's why he has given us this Bhagavad Gita, enlightenment. You see. When the body is involved in working in three modes of material nature, we get reactions accordingly and thus enjoy or suffer results of our actions. And we blame God for our actions, whereas Krishna is not the one who gives us sufferings. So we need to learn the cause of our sufferings and enlighten our devotional life with knowledge of the Supreme. Once we are in divine knowledge, when we devote ourselves to Krishna, when our mind and intelligence with complete faith is fixed on Krishna, then we can get fully purified and chances of our going back to him are very ripe. See? So the sages who have true knowledge of the Supreme Lord see with the equal vision. Okay, this one we'll learn in the next time probably. Or we can cover this today as well. See, it's verse number 18. See. As we learned sages, so we'll cover this verse as well. It's verse number 18. It's a very nice verse actually. So I'll read that. Vidya Vinay. Can everybody see this one, or do I need to share it? Let me share it. Okay, this is the verse. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shiva Pakecha Panditaha Samadarshana. It's a very popular. So the humble sages, by the virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater outcasts. You see, with the same vision. See. So Prabhupada said a Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species of or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species. But these differences of body are meaningless from the view of learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme or the Supreme Lord. By his plenary portion as Paramatma is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned, in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats everyone living being as a friend, yet maintains himself as Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in outcast and in the Brahmana. Although the body of a Brahmana and that of outcast are not the same, the bodies are material productions of different modes of material nature. But the soul and the super soul within the body are the same spiritual quality. The similarity and the quality of the soul and the super soul, however, does not make them equal in quantity. For the individual soul is present only in that particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore he is truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristics of the soul and super soul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is the individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the super soul is conscious of all bodies. The super soul is present in all bodies without distinction. Right. So that this verse is very important. He says, when we have the vision that Lord is behind everything, and in every in every living being, he is seated as Paramatma, because a spark of everything, the soul in everybody is the same. See, is a spark of Krishna. He says, you are part and parcel of mind, you see. But when we understand, we have the understanding of that Lord as Paramatma lives in everybody, because and he is in two parts, Atma and Paramatma. When he is living in all the bodies, whether it's cow or Brahmana, cow, elephant, dog, or a outcast, or Chandala, or as they call it, or dog eater, as Prabhupada mentioned. But in all the bodies, he is there equally. You see, in my bodies must be different, like dog or cat or cow or an elephant. They look different in body, but the spark inside, the Atma inside, is the same. See? And Paramatma also is with them, is in the same condition. See, the only difference is the human body has given Krishna has given us intelligence. You see, to understand God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and He's with us. He's watching us, whether we are following His footsteps or not. We are trying to understanding Him or not. If we don't understand, that means we have wasted our time and we are fallen into the cycle of birth and death. But if we solve that problem by understanding Krishna and devoting ourselves, devoting our life to Krishna, engaging in devotional service to Krishna, then we have good chances of relieving ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. Once we are in divine knowledge, when we devote ourselves to Krishna, when our mind and intelligence with complete faith is fixed on Krishna, then we can get fully purified, and chances of our going back to Him are very ripe. The sages who have true knowledge, once we have a true knowledge that Lord, knowledge of the Supreme Lord, see within the equal vision to learned Brahmana, cow and elephant, dog and dog eater, Chandala or outcast, sameness for all the living beings. We see ourselves from the entanglement we free ourselves from the entanglement of birth and death. So once we realize that Krishna lives in everybody and they are not separate from Krishna, then we can stop, because I've been reading some of recent Prabhupada's lectures, or reading lectures, and that one he really emphasizes that why there should be slaughterhouses. Why can't we see equal vision? Why can't we see that in the cows and animals as well, God lives? You see, why there should be slaughterhouses? Why they are killing the animals? You see, why can't they have respect for that life as well? You see, so because people have lost that respect for the different lives, not thinking that Krishna, super soul and soul belongs to stays in that body. That's why we are committing the crime of killing them, you see, and that's how we are creating sins for ourselves. But when we have that idea that this everybody is connected with Krishna, because the soul is inside that body and the super soul in that one as well, then that vision will give us the right path. You see, we'll understand that Krishna belongs to them, and then we'll respect those bodies as well as like they are parcel of Krishna. You see, and dog eater Chandala. And when we have that same vision of sameness for all the living beings, 1 minute. Somebody sent message. Sorry. Okay. Sameness for all living beings, we free ourselves from the entanglement of birth and death. When we realize that everybody belongs to Krishna and they are like our brothers, you see, that's the goal of our life. You know, we understand that this is the sameness, you see, then we are free from birth and death. When we are equipoised in pleasant and unpleasant situations, thinking, being mercy of Lord, we are in true knowledge and leading towards peaceful life. So that's the name of the peaceful life. When you understand that whatever is happening around us, good or bad, is happening because of our karmas, previous karmas, you see. And it's not, Krishna is not behind that, see. Krishna is not behind that. It's our own karmas. That is how we become peaceful, you know. Then we become peaceful. That whatever is happening is it's not Krishna's fault. It's not God's fault. It's our own fault. We have created this karma for us, you see, and we have to go through it. And Krishna, when we devote ourselves to Krishna, He makes things faster for us. See, when we realize that Krishna is our friend and He is favoring us, then and we are like connected to Him in devotional service, then He purifies us. Slowly, we get purified. He'll take all the bad things away from us. But we have to have that faith in Krishna, you see. Once we have that strong faith that Krishna is behind, is our well-wisher and our Supreme Father, and then our purification system starts, you see. And then Krishna clears all our karmas, you see. Because Krishna doesn't interfere in our karmas, whether good or bad karmas, our past karmas, Krishna doesn't interfere, see. He lets us take those karmas, see. But when we understand that and we devote ourselves to Krishna, we are engaged in devotional service, then He purifies us, see, and He makes things faster for us. That's why so many of we think that many people, they ask question that why devotees are suffering, see? Why devotees die of diseases, you see, or even ordinary devotees, they sannyasis and all, some sannyasis, they left their body in suffering. We have that question, you know, when sons, they are sannyasis, they have given up everything, they are connected to Krishna, they were devoted to Krishna, why they are suffering, you see. That is because whatever past karmas they had, Krishna is making them go through it faster, you see. That's how they give up that body and they go to the Krishna in quicker mode, you see. That is how Krishna purifies us, you see. Once devotional service starts, then purification systems starts as well. Our mind is slowly purified. And I have to be honest with you, I have experienced that. I've been connected to the Krishna consciousness for 38 years now. And I found that I've been purified, you know, like so many changes I've seen in my life now, you see. I was kind of irritating person, you see. I was losing my temper very often, you see, and I was eating wrong things as well. But now all those things slowly have come to in the purification system. See, I find for myself, you know, that I'm more peaceful and more happy, you see, than before. Before I used to get really irritated very quickly, you see, for small things. But now those things doesn't bother me. So that's the change we all are looking for. And We have to practice that. And as I said, Om Agyan Timranasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshur Ulmritamena Tasmai Shri Guru Namah. So our gurus, our acharyas have given us this Bhagavad Gita to open our eyes. See? And so there are three things. Krishna is our goal. See? Bhagavad Gita is a torchlight. See, is a torch to see, find the way back to Golok Vrindavan. And Guru is he gives the torch to us. He's a torch bearer. You see, he gives the torch to us. This is a torch. Find your way to Golok Vrindavan. So it's our duty to follow them, follow whatever our acharyas, Prabhupada, and our gurus have mentioned, has given to us. We need to follow those. Once we follow that, then we be peaceful in life, and we go back. We have chances of going back to Godhead very faster. So I'll stop here. We have another 5 minutes. Anybody has any questions or comments or corrections? If anybody wants to make, or we can go any further. Anyone has any questions or comments?
Prabhu, Atul here. I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Basically, this verse that we were reading, I mean, before this, very similar to this. I think there is a one verse in the chapter 9th as well. I think that one, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Eshwashi Yuktvaivam Atmana Matparana. So, and not just this shloka, many times I have a feeling that why is the Lord in one way, that's my understanding, I mean, you can correct me, is repeating the similar verses in different ways. So if that slok from the chapter 9th as well was talking about fix your mind and intelligence into me, and then you will surely come to me. And then this 17th verse also what we read was kind of similar, looks to me, with the literal meaning that was there in the translation. So just wanted to understand from your perspective, how shall we take it? Why was the need of
Manamana Bhavavan Bhakta is Krishna in 9th chapter is like he's directly telling us, that's the 50% of the Bhagavad Gita finishes there. See, that's 9th chapter, last verse. You see, 934 it is, I think.
Yeah.
So he's Manamana Bhavavan Bhakta Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Evasi Satyam Te Pratijana. No, Mamevasi Yuktva Evam Atmanam Mat Prayana. The other one is at the end of 18th chapter, 1855, I think, or 65, sorry. And this one is 930. So he said, Manamana Bhagavato, always engage your mind in Krishna. See, that's why he said, Manamana Mo Mad Bhakto, become my devotee. Engage your mind in me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances unto me. Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mahamevasi. Once we are connected to me, then I'll call you back. Let me just open that verse, then I will know.
So then why, Prabhuji, in this 5th chapter, the 17th verse that we were reading, isn't it the same thing? I mean,
no, when one's intelligence, mind, faith, these are the elementary things. These things are the elementary things. How we get to that stage, how we get to become to the bhakta stage, or devotional state, you see. 934 is saying that you become a devotee to me. You offer obeisance. These are the devotional services. And this one, when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then he becomes fully cleansed. This is the purification process. So we have to apply our intelligence, mind, and faith is more important things. We have to first of all have faith that Krishna is the Supreme. As he says, Mata Parataram Nanyat, in this purport Krishna has mentioned, Prabhupada has mentioned. Mata Parataram Nanyat, that's the 7th chapter, 5th verse, I think. Mata Parataram Nanyat, Kinchudasti Dhananjaya, Mai Sarvam Idam Proktam, Sutre Mani Ganaiva. So all the parts are strung in the thread. That's how everything depends upon me. So this is how we have to, first of all, we have to understand. This is like purification system. Once we purify ourselves, then we are ready to devote ourselves to Krishna. See, first of all, we have to purify ourselves, And then when we come to that state, then Krishna says, now manbana bhav bhakto, become my devotee, offer your obeisances to me. Here he said, apply your intelligence first of all, understand who I am. See? Because we need to understand first of all what Krishna is. You see, we can't just blindly. Okay, we after all, even if we do blindly, we are going to the same path. But it's better we understand first what Krishna wants from us. You see, why? So he said we have to create. If we go without the faith, and then we can again fall down. You see, if we go approach Krishna without faith, then we can fall down. See, like we have seen so many instances in Mahabharata as well. See, they didn't have faith in Krishna. People who have faith in Krishna, they were liberated. Even the people who didn't have faith in Krishna, they fought against Krishna. They were liberated as well, but they were into the Brahma Jyoti. They went into the Brahma Jyoti. They didn't get to go to the Golok Vrindavan. They didn't get completely liberated. See, the Brahma Jyoti is like a liberation, which is you are like completely you don't have any portfolio. You're just going to this round and uncircled Brahma Jyoti. See, you're just until the new Lord creates this thing, all the Brahmand again. You see, till that he remains in the Brahma Jyoti. See, but once we in Golok Vrindavan, then we are completely free from birth and death. See, we don't have anything to do with the body. See, we only have spiritual body. So he says the difference between this one is, he says, first of all, in one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme. Then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge, and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. See, then once we, like, these are like the initial things, as I say, elementary things. See, faith in the God Krishna, use our intelligence and mind to serve Him. And once we done that, then Krishna said, you're ready. Then you engage your mind completely in me, become my devotee. You're ready for the devotion now, and offer obeisances unto me. See, so these are the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. As you must have heard so many times, the Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. First 6 chapters are Karma Yoga. You do your duty. And then next 6 chapters from 7 to 12 are devotional service. Then in those chapters, Krishna says how to become my devotee. See, how you have to devote your life to me. See, for the liberation. See, for final liberation. And then after that is knowledge. But all 3 are connected to devotion only. First 6 chapters and last 6 chapters and middle 6 chapters, they are all connected to devotion. Knowledge is for the devotion as well. Karma, duty, also Krishna, as we learn in this one, that do everything for me. Do your duty for me only. See, so they are all interconnected to devotional service only. First 6 and last 6 and the middle 6. They all knowledge is for devotional service as well. See, Krishna gives knowledge how you have to become devotee, my devotee. See. And middle 6 chapters, all the devotional activities he has mentioned, that mana bhava mat bhakto, as you said, patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya paras, offer me fruit, leaf, flower, water, you see, and I'll accept it. These are all devotional service. And then what will happen? Yat karoshi yad ashnashi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurusha mad arpanam. Whatever you eat, whatever you give away, whatever you want to donate, give it as an offering to me. See, and then what will happen? When we do all those offerings, then it said, then you will get relief from everything. The next verse after that is, I think, 928. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yat johoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurusha mad arpanam. Then after that, there's another verse which is very nice as well. I've forgotten that. And yeah, so those 3 verses he says, once you do that, these are all devotional services. See, so these are duties. Whatever he is saying, these are all duties, karmas. You see, karma yoga. We are connecting ourselves with the karma yoga, and then after 7th chapter, the devotional service will start. Is it okay? Do you understand?
Yeah,
that, no?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, could I ask one, please?
Of course, Mataji. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, this is a continuation only because even in the middle six chapters, the 12th chapter, when Krishna says, I think it's verse 8 probably, he says that you fix your mind and intelligence in me. Then he says, if you can't do that, in the next verse, he says, okay, then you try to practice doing it. And if you
Yeah.
can't do that, then you work for me. So he's, I think he's again and again, what Prabhu tried to say is what I was also trying to say, that we are, there's a lot of repetition of the same thing, isn't it? Because he's trying to say, become my devotee by mind and intelligence. If not, do abhyas, practice doing it if you can't do it, which is, of course, rules and regulations and
Yes.
reading Bhagavad Gita, Shrimad
Yes, you're right.
Bhagavatam. But then we
Actually, Bhagavad Gita, in every chapter, you'll find repetition. In some part, Krishna says, you get that knowledge and become a devotee, get that knowledge. And every chapter is like that. That's the best thing about Krishna, you see. He's, in every chapter, he's giving us idea that how you should become devotee. And this chapter, you said, chapter 12 is called devotional service. I think I'm right. Yes, devotional service. See. And before that, before eighth, this one, the one you said eighth, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without. So this one he says, you will live in me by fixing your intelligence uh, uh, and mind in me, you will live in me. So once we do that, and before that he says, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service and always meditating upon me. This is the promise Krishna has given in the chapter 12. You see, always meditate upon me, having fixed their mind upon me. O son of Pritha, for then I am the swift deliverer of the ocean of birth and death. I'll read this verses and then I'll explain you 12:8 as well. See, ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sannyasa matparah अन्येन योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषाम् अहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्यु संसार सागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मयि आवेशित चेतसाम्. So this is a promise by Krishna. See, he said, once you are engaged in this devotional service to me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for then I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. See, so Krishna will deliver us from once we devote ourselves to Krishna. And now we coming to the eighth verse. From eighth verse to I think 11th or 12th verses, he is giving us choices. You know, like when we have question that I'm sorry, Krishna, I'm not very intelligent. I can't apply my intelligence in your devotional service. So he said, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. See, okay. In the next verse it says, my dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of bhakti yoga. And this way, develop a desire to attend me. So, in every uh, choice, he's telling us that your desire should be to attend me at the end. You should not waste your time on other things. And whatever you do, whether your intelligence or mind or faith, it should be connected to me. Then only you have chance of coming back to me. And then again, 10th verse, he gives another choice. Okay, if you can't do this, if you cannot practice the regulation of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect state. So these are the steps he is telling us to take. If you are not able to do one thing, try this thing. If you're not able to do the even keeps on giving us choices, you see. So at least we after trying those choices, we come to the end result, that is attaining Krishna. Ultimate result choice will be that we are devoted to Krishna. So he said, but he is giving us choices. So once we do this by working for Krishna, then slowly we come to the stage. Then we are attached to, we are like devoted to Krishna. We are attached to Krishna. Our mind, intelligence, everything is engaged in Krishna's service. You see, that's the last stage. And then he said again, 11th, he said, if however you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all the results of your work and try to self-situate it. See, like we said that we should give up all the results. We should give up proprietorship. That we are doing everything. See, we are the doers. He said even he gives us that choice. You see, even if you just don't do that, that don't claim any proportion, think that I'm doing everything, then also you're connected to me. See, then you'll still be, the end result will be you'll come to me. And if and again it says the another one, 12th verse says, if you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, for by which renunciation one can attain peace of mind. So that's the, as we said, then once we are not envious of Krishna or of anybody, no, sorry, I'm going to the wrong one. So he's giving us so many choices in this chapter as well, which you said, that is repetitive something. But in this one, he's giving us choices. If you are unable to do connect your intelligence and mind with me, okay, don't worry about it. Go to the another step. Try this one. You see, follow regulative principles. Like 4 regulative principles has been given by Bhakti Yoga. Engage yourself in Bhakti. See, in this way, develop desire to attain me. See. So at the end, desire, as I said, is devotional service to connecting to Krishna. See, giving up everything. See, and once we like step by step, if we engage ourselves in those activities which Krishna is recommending here, if you cannot practice the regulated bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me. Work for Krishna. We think Krishna, I'm doing this as an offering to you. See, I'm cooking this for food as an offering to you. Please accept it. See, so just working for Krishna. That is how we will cultivate devotional service. Once we engage ourselves in so many different activities for Krishna, that is devotional service. That is how we'll come into the devotional service. We'll become part and parcel of devotional service to Krishna. And then the end result is attaining Krishna himself. You see, that's how we'll get the peaceful life. Then we'll become happier and peaceful. And this whole 5th chapter which we are doing is based at the end we'll see it's a peace formula. How one, he said at the end of this chapter, it says 5th chapter, it says Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvalokam Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. See, once we know that he is the proprietor of everything, see, he is proprietor of everything, whether it's a cow or elephant or dog or brahmana or outcast, he is owner of everything. See, once we know that, we'll be peaceful. And that's the, as I said, in the 2nd chapter, say Nasti Buddhi Yuktasya Nacha Yuktasya Bhavana Nacha Bhavayata Shantir Ashantasya Kuta Sukham. So one who is not connected with the Supreme Krishna in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without the peace? Is that answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. So Karam Yoga, and it's sort of a minor repetition even in 12th chapter. So there will be
Every chapter you will find. Every chapter you will find that. Every chapter you will find that repetition. You see, Krishna is saying that engage your mind and intelligence in my service. You see, that is you will find in every chapter. Either middle of the chapter or end of the chapter, you will see. He'll say at the end of every chapter that become my devotee. This is how you become my devotee. Get the knowledge, do your duty, and then you become my devotee. And that's middle 6 chapters. He's giving the process of devotional service. How one you should engage our mind and intelligence and karma, our knowledge in devotional service. In the middle 6 chapter, he is giving. And first 6 chapter, as I said, duty. Yeah. Okay. Is that okay? Clear with you? I said there's verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, see, which is very nice and which is important. It said, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, uh, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhaktir Adokshade, Ahatuki Apratihata, Yayatma Suprasidati. The supreme occupational, that is Dharma. Dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain a loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So we'll be satisfied when we completely devote ourselves to Krishna. I see. Whenever we follow our religion, we think our religion is to follow Krishna, to devote ourselves to Krishna. Then we'll be satisfied. This month's verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I think first chapter, first chapter, first canto, second chapter, and sixth verse. You see, so these are all nice verses mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita to enlighten us, and that's the main purpose. Once we are enlightened, as I said, Bhagavad Gita is the torch. You see, Krishna has left this torch. Find this torch and come to me. See your path of coming to me. See how you should come to me. And acharyas are there. They have left. They have taken the torch and they are handing it over to us. Take this torch and find your way back to Krishna. See, this is how we go back to Krishna. See. Is that explanation okay with everybody, or somebody has any more comments or questions to ask? No? I suppose the answer is no. Nobody's answering question. Okay. So anybody has Samudra Radhika Mother, you want to show any darshan to us? Give your deities darshan to us?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Damdat Manam. Thank you for a very nice
Dandavat.
class. Sorry, I've just
Thank you,
put them to
Mataji.
rest now, so I've put them to rest. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I got a picture of Krishna, so I'll show it to everybody. You can have that darshan. Very nice picture of Krishna.
Haribol.
So, yeah, this is coming to the end, this
Yes.
calendar. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. So we'll meet again on 28th of, I can see Mataji's got nice pictures behind as well. See, Bhuvneshwari Mataji. She has got nice picture of Krishna. See. So we'll meet again on 28th.
28. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who's that? Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patika Nam Pavane Vaishnave. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you. So next Wednesday, 28th, we'll meet. And so once in a week, Wednesday, you are happy? Everybody is happy on Wednesday?